Coconut Grove, one of Miami's most sought after neighborhoods, and in the first quarter of 2026, the condo market here is delivering a story that is as positive as it gets. More closings than a year ago, higher prices, and faster sales. This is a market with real momentum. I'm Jose Laya, born and raised right here in Miami, and I've been selling real estate in this city for 20 years. I've seen every market cycle the city has gone through, and today I'm going to give you the real numbers. Let's get into those numbers, and let me also tell you a little bit about what makes the Coconut Grove condo lifestyle so unique, because the numbers only make sense when you understand why people love living here. What makes Coconut Grove condos special starts with the location of the buildings themselves. The majority of the condo towers in the Grove are located along South Bayshore Drive, one of the nicest streets in all of Miami, as it runs directly on the bay or across from the bay, which means most of these towers are bayfront, and units on the right floor and the right side have beautiful water views. But it goes beyond the views. On the bay, there's a large number of marinas, which means if you're a boater, you can literally keep your boat steps from your front door. That is a lifestyle advantage that draws a very specific and passionate buyer to the neighborhood. The heart of Coconut Grove, you can consider it Coco Walk, which is a vibrant open-air destination filled with local restaurants, bars, shops, and entertainment. It has an energy that is uniquely the Grove, relaxed, social, and authentic. It's not tourist-driven, but it's community-driven. Coconut Grove is also home to some of the best schools in all of Miami, which means families who buy here are investing in not just a home or a condo, but an entire lifestyle and community. That consistent demand from families is a big part of what makes Coconut Grove so resilient. That's just a few of the wonderful things that make Coconut Grove so unique and so sought after. Now, we're going to look at the first quarter of 2026 on a month-by-month basis. And here we have January. Active listings 85, 24 closed sales. That brings a months of supply down to about 4. 85 days on market, $832 median price per square foot, median price sold of $1.2 million. Look at February. Active listings jumped from 85 to 134. And let's take a peek at the active listings in March, 156. We want to highlight this point so that you understand what happens. We found that most listings that are for sale are set to expire at the end of the year, December 31st. Therefore, we have found that most listings fall off the market come January. You then, from January, February to March, you have this ramping up effect of sellers re-entering and relisting their properties for sale. So you're always going to find a large number in March versus February and January. That ramping up effect, it's just a normal function of the real estate market, not specifically Coconut Grove, pretty much everywhere. Listings are, I'll say it again, listings are set to expire on December 31st, and this is just a normal function of the real estate market. So it's nothing to be alarmed by. That's why we wanted to highlight that point. So now let's go across the board. February 134 on the active listings, but look at this. Even though the active listings went up, so did closed sales, which is why it's keeping months of supply down. Days on market actually decreased from 85 to 71. Pricing increased slightly. Finally, March, highest number of active listings. We told you why. But it also had 30 closed sales. Months of supply inched up to 5. Days on market though, look at that. That's extraordinary. 31 days. So days on market in January went from 85 to then 71 to then 31. All while median price sold and median price per square foot both increased. So you had more buyer activity at slightly higher prices. That right there shows you the strength of the market in Coconut Grove. And now to really give these numbers some context, we're gonna compare the first quarter of 2026 to the first quarter of 2025 and look at the numbers. The active listings, even though they increased, look at that, from 112 to 156. Look at the number of closed sales. Went from 55 to 84. Days on market slightly decreased to 71. And again, look at the pricing. Median price per square foot increased dramatically. Median price sold increased from 1 million to 1,375,000. That right there again shows you the strength of the market in Coconut Grove. A huge increase in active listings, but the closed sales kept pace. Look at that. So buyers were still transacting even though prices were increasing. So as we can see from this graph, market stronger in 2026 for Coconut Grove condos. Obviously, even with the large increase in inventory coming to market, the demand absorbed it without any impact on pricing. That is the hallmark of a strong market. And now we're going to show you our final graph, which it takes a snapshot of where the market stands for the first quarter, as well as shows you the price ranges where all the activity is taking place in. And here we go, 156 active listings, 83 closed sales. It brings it to about 6 months of supply for the quarter. Again, days on market, look at that, at 71, with a median price sold of 1,375,000, which is pretty high. Out of those 83 closed sales, look at that, the majority of the market take place at $3 million and under. You had 28 take place under $1 million, but 42, or more than half of the closed sales, took place between $1 and $3 million. That makes up the majority of condos, as you can see. And then even from 3 to 5 million, you had 7 closed sales, 5 to 10, you had 5 closed sales for the quarter. And even between 10 and 20 million, you had 1 closed sale. Above 20 million, not much for active sales or active listings, only 1. That's why there was no closed sales. On that note, we always like to highlight the highest priced closed sale for the quarter. And that was a high floor direct bayfront, yes, on South Bayshore Drive. It was a 5-bedroom condo of almost 7,000 square feet at the exclusive Grosvenor House. It sold for $13,625,000, or just under $2,000 per square foot. And even more surprising than the $13 million price tag is that that condo was on the market for less than 30 days. That sale clearly represents the top of what the Coconut Grove market can deliver. And it confirms that demand at the luxury end of this market is very real. If you're a buyer looking for a condo in Coconut Grove, the data is telling you to act fast. Prices are up year over year, while days on market has dropped. Supply is tightening at about 5 to 6 months. Waiting may not help you here. If you're a seller in Coconut Grove, this looks like an excellent time to be on the market. 84 closings in the quarter, price is up, days on market down. The buyers are here and they're active. Price your unit correctly, present it well, and the market will reward you quickly. And that is your complete Coconut Grove condo market report for the first quarter of 2026. The Coconut Grove condo market is as strong as it has been, and the headline is clear. Coconut Grove is a stronger market in the first quarter of 2026 than it was in 2025. 2025. More closings at higher prices. As I start my 20th year in the Miami real estate market, I can proudly say that our goal in making these videos is to help as many people as we can by sharing real market data to give you a better insight into the local market. If you found this useful, subscribe. If you have any questions, drop your questions in the comments. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.